what do you call it? It's his love time. Uh, anyway, so I'm live. I am going to just give him few moments of what do you call it? Loving and stuff. And after that, I'll be done. And you guys can ask questions. Please feel free to do. I am on YouTube and Telegram both. Those who are with me on Telegram, they can talk, of course. And those who are not on Telegram, they can watch me on YouTube and ask questions in the comments. Okay, we have a lot of people live, so go ahead and ask your questions. I'll be more than happy to respond. And don't mind me, I'll change the room soon. It's just that I'm in bedroom with my cat for a few moments. Anyway, okay, what is the first question? You can raise your hands and don't shy away. I'll unmute you and you can talk. Or you can leave a comment. We can do that too. Okay, where the hell is a comment? Can I see comments? Yeah, there it is. Josh says, what's up, Shah? It's Josh. Hi, Josh. Good to see you. Okay, Adriana, you can talk.
Hi there, Shah. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Good to be back. I think I missed like a couple calls, and I was like waiting for the next call for a long time. And I'm like, yeah, just patience, because either way, market is not moving too much, so nothing to worry about there.
Yeah, that is true. Market is not doing much, and I would say that you're not missing out on anything crazy. Market is offering very little these days, but I mean, it's good to stay active anyway.
Yeah, it's true, and I think this has been a good time for me to reflect on my trading and some mistakes, and I think that's what I'm going to ask you on, maybe like for kind of your wisdom to get it on this, like
Yeah.
obviously as beginner, those are the beginner mistake, like either selling too early in small profit, either cutting the losses too quickly where the price could have gone a little bit more to go out and break even, selling and then re-entering. All of these things, I guess those are the beginner's mistakes.
Yeah.
I did them all, which is normal. I had to reflect and kind of accept it.
Yeah.
But I feel like now, for myself, I'm trying to create a structure, like when I'm buying and when I'm selling, like having these targets. But at the same time, I have been thinking, how can I hold longer on futures? Like I want to have like the confidence to DCA into positions. Like let's say I'm shorting, and every time the price goes up, I just buy more, and then I get my price to get on a better average price.
Yeah.
What would be the best way to balance in that, like in those DCA strategy for futures? Is that something that you would recommend, or you would just, because I tried scalping, I tried a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and I actually like, I do not know what works for me now. Like I'm trying to understand that.
So you tried pretty much a piece of everything, and now you're confused on what kind of trading you should go along with, right? That is your question.
Yes, correct.
Okay, I can answer that. It's just I woke up. I went to bed late. I was in a gym at 3 a.m. I came back around 4. That's one of the reasons I couldn't make videos today. But now
3 a.m. in the gym. Wow, that's I go at 5 a.m. So that was my biggest.
I go to gym generally around 2 a.m., 3 a.m. But yeah, the schedule I have is that when I get up, I have to give love to my cats. They have a schedule with me. And I just got done with one, and now I'm sitting here with another one, and now he's asking for some. I was just talking about if you hear any sounds, just because of that. Anyway, with the trading, One thing that is extremely important is to write down everything. Having your having your information documented is key. If you don't document what you're doing, you wouldn't know what is your yardstick, what you should compare it to. And the reason I'm saying this is because with my students, they have their confessions with me. They learn something, then they come back to me next week. We talk about how their trades fail. The general problem I have seen it is that they don't stick to their agreed discipline. They have written that their leverage is going to be 10x, their margin is going to be $10. They have agreed there is only going to be one take profit. They are only going to take one target of profit. They are not going to aim for more. They are going to stick to all that stuff. But when I asked them that what happened, how did it fail? They either changed the leverage to 25x, or they added more margin to it, or they moved their stop loss because they thought that it is coming after their stop loss, and they tried to save it. At the end of the day, trading is pure math. It is a game of probability, and probabilities are math, and at the end of the day, it's a number game, right? So when you are doing trading, you need to have strict guidelines. Bad guidelines or good guidelines doesn't matter as long as you have them and you stick to them. So I think major problem in your trading journey would have been not sticking to one thing, and it is to try a lot of stuff. Trying a lot of stuff. This is the same problem I have with people when they follow different platforms, different styles. It leads to those kind of problems. If you are following a lot of people, they can have different styles, right? They can be trading volumes, they can be Elliott wave traders, they can be structured traders, or they can be someone who is just doing swings. You cannot compare each of them to each other. They have really different styles. Similarly, when you are trading for yourself, you cannot do you cannot keep on changing your strategy. The easiest way to fail as a trader is to keep on changing things. I think that it's one thing to tune and improve your strategy. It is another thing to keep on changing it. Like if you are looking at one thing, let's say that you are someone who always goes after the SME gaps in the candles, and you only trade that. Later on, you find out that okay, if I do this as well, I can trade these things as well, and then you go after those things. So even when you are charting, you need to stick to one thing. So when I talk about scalping, they only stick to scalping. They don't do swings. So if you are doing swings, then you do just swings. You can't do both. Yes, there are some people who do both, who can do all of it. But the thing is that these people, they have spent years and years of practicing. These days, I'm watching a lot of cricket reviews because my country is doing a bit well. So because of that, I can use that example. You have a batter who bats, and then you have a bowler who bowls. One person has to hit, the other one has to throw the ball. But there are some people who are called all-rounders. They can do both. But the thing is that it comes with its own issues. Either they are average with both things, or they run out of their stamina. They might be good at both, but they don't have stamina. If they're throwing the ball, then they come to bat, they don't have the energy left to bat as well. So as a trader, you need to decide on the style. Then you need to write down the discipline. And after doing all that, you need to decide on the margin and your leverage, and then you need to apply the strategy and then see why are you failing or how much you're failing. Look, the problem is not in the failure. I've said this previously as well. The major problem that you would run into, if you are hearing sounds, again, I apologize, it's my cats. If you
Don't worry.
if you see, the major problem is that you don't know what kind of success rate you have. So if I ask you, do you know what is your success rate percentage?
No, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, because if you tell me
All I write down is like the reflections for now. Like
no,
I write down the trade and I
yeah,
write down the reflection. Like what went wrong? Was it me? Was it the market situation? Like what news that came out, or like
yeah.
whatever thing I came to that.
Look, the was it me, was it the market is a very subjective thing. There is no answer to it. If you come to me, I might blame the market. If you go to someone else, they might blame you, and we both might be wrong. We both might be right. Look, trading is extremely subjective. Okay, there is no hardcore structure around it. The reason people win is because of their hard-coded discipline. Okay, so if you come to me with the percentages, if you take 100 trades and next time you come to me and you tell me that, Shah, my win rate is 50%, my win rate is 60%, my win rate is 30%, then I will be able to tell you that, okay, now is the time to change your risk to reward ratio, and we can work on a strategy to improve it. But if I don't know what kind of a trader you are, I wouldn't be able to tell. And you need to trade only one style and one time frame. You cannot flip around. Do that with 100 trades and come back to me, and I will be able to take it from there with you. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Okay, I'll take some comments. Then I see one raised hand on my Telegram. Just a second, I'm seeing some comments on YouTube. It's actually way more comments. Realistically, what price do you see XCN hitting? XCN, if the market gets green, the realistic price I'm seeing on it is 2.2 cents. Is it okay to ask about Zora? I think you requested a video on it, so I'll cover that in a video anyway. Core coin price prediction. Core coin. Sorry, I have to search it. I don't know what coin is that. I know you said you might do a video. Thank you. I love you, Kitty. Thank you. Hi, brother. Hi, Roman. Good to see you here. What is the market prediction for September? BTC up or down? I did make a video, a long one, actually 15 minutes for the VIP on YouTube and on my VIP Telegram. The crux of it is that if the market is not going to crash, if we are not going to see bigger crashes, there's not going to be bigger movements, it is going to stay annoying. And for us to see any kind of price movement, we need to break two levels. For upward movement, we need to stabilize above $112,000 for more than 2 days. Only then we can consider that, okay, it is an actual move. If you have seen my last Bitcoin video, it was at $112,000 when I was recording, and at that time it was actually a bit above that as well. I said that we use 2 days concept so we don't fall victim to the fake outs, and the next day when I woke up, even the first candle turned into a wick. The body of the candle disappeared, so not even one candle closed above it. The reason for it is stability of the price, and once you see that it is stabilizing above a certain bullish level, that concludes that, okay, the bullish direction has started and now we are going to see a momentum for a new all-time high on Bitcoin or other coins you are interested in. But Bitcoin is struggling with that, so there is no upward movement. As long as that doesn't happen, the pressure towards the downward journey remains, and we can get good amount of bearish if it goes to 102. So we are waiting on that. 107 was the target, we have achieved that. I'm waiting for 102 because at 102 the actual freak out will start, where people will start getting scared. They will think that, okay, what if it breaks 100k, and then it breaks 100k, then they will start losing their minds and they will be really worried. Okay, I took some YouTube comments. Now you can talk. I have unmuted you. And now back to Telegram. It's Disfrutador. Sorry, your name is challenging. Disfrutador. Yeah, you need to unmute yourself and then you can talk. My God, so much cat here. Let's see if there are any comments there. Hi Shah, do we hold mini hodls on any exchange or in a wallet? Does the same apply to hodls? So Matt has asked, can we hold these coins in wallet or can we hold them on an exchange? I know that a lot of influencers out there, they are totally against. Ra, you have raised your hand. I'll unmute you in a bit, okay? A lot of people talk bad about exchanges. Personally, I do keep some decent amount of my wealth on an exchange. I'm not concerned or worried about it because I think that it really depends on what kind of exchange you're dealing with. If it is something like Binance, I use Binance. I'm never worried. I use a two-factor, which is a hardware two-factor, which means I need to attach a hardware 2FA, and then it only works. So if you want to withdraw, you need to have that hardware device. You cannot withdraw. Talking about getting hacked, Binance has never been hacked, but let's say they get hacked, they will compensate for it. Even the shittiest thing that happened was the FTX. Still, the amount generated out of it was more than double. So if people lost, just to give you an easy example, if people lost $1 billion, the return of FTX was $2 billion. So from any perspective, there is security, and of course, full-fledged that kind of attack on Binance, that is totally out of the equation. It's like you're talking about what happens to Google when Google collapses as a search engine. Binance is the Google of crypto world. Not as in terms of search engine, as an empire, as a kingdom. It's that big. So if you have a reliable exchange, Matt, you can use it. If you don't have reliable exchange, you can go to the wallets. I personally don't like wallets that are hardware. I use software wallets like Trust Wallet. I use it on a separate phone. I have dedicated mobile phones for crypto. That's how I do my hardware wallet aspect. So I don't like cold storages or hardware wallets. If I hit billions, maybe I'll start doing that. But before that, I think with millions it's meaningless for me. I mean, it's too much pain to do the back and forth and connect, and I think I'm too lazy for that. Okay, Rah, you are unmuted. You can ask your questions now.
Hey, Shah. Just want to give my gratitude to you. You're the most hardworking person on the internet. I wish you more subscribers, and really loved your video about when you reach your 25K target. But you got to thank yourself. So I'm not an active trader, but I live in Texas, US, and Binance doesn't work for me. So I'm a very newbie, so I use Robinhood. But the fee is so much. Do you have any recommendations how to bypass, which exchange to use?
Of course. I am the bypass guy. Whenever there is something shady, I am the guy to go to. So basically, I have a lot of students from USA. So you can use any exchange, literally, with the exception of Binance, and maybe there might be someone else that we have not tested. So there is one legit way of doing it. There is another one that is not legit. I'll tell you both, and those who are watching on YouTube, they can receive it for free. Otherwise, it is in the pin messages of the VIP. So one easy way, legit method is to get a Palau ID. I think it's $100 a year. You get a Palau ID, and then that ID is a government ID because Palau is a location that is legitimately considered to be a country. So they give you an ID, and it hides your US identity. Then you are a Palau person. And exchanges, they are looking for an excuse. Okay, they want your money. It's just that they don't want to deal with US. So when the government of US asks them for information, they tell them that share the information of US people with us. But you are not a US person anymore. You are a Palau person. So they wouldn't share your information with them. So what you do is that you use a proxy. A Nord VPN is what I use. You can use any other VPN. Get a Palau ID, and you will have access to every exchange out there. I think using exchanges that are in US, you might as well don't do crypto at all, because I think the fee they charge and the amount of coins they offer is so limiting and it's so horrible that it doesn't make any sense. Again, my famous example, because it's real, with my student, we had a Coinbase Pro account. We used $80,000 on Ethereum, and I think we bought it at $2,800 and we sold it at $2,900. And I think this was somewhere around the end of 2023 or 2024. And it moved up $100, but thanks to Coinbase Pro that says that there is no fee, they had hidden fees. So they sold us Ethereum expensive than the market when we were buying. So we saw something on the chart and we received something else when we bought. And when we were selling, they sold it cheaper than what we were seeing on the graphs. So $80,000, and we came out with zero profit. So
correct. Same way I struggle with all the TPs. Like I can't take TP. I have to factor in on the fee and.
Yeah, it's horrible. So if you get a Palau ID, you will have access to Bing. It's in VIP.
Can you write that in?
I'll write it in VIP again. Just a second, okay?
Sure.
It will confuse the future generation. Palau ID for all US, actually I should say American, because it affects the Canada as well. All American citizens. Can I call people on a continent citizens? Anyway, we'll figure that later. Anyway, so I've written that. Other than this, there is another way which is called no KYC, which means you don't provide an ID, but then it comes with troubles, and I wouldn't suggest you using a lot of funds. Generally, sometimes they lock your account, they hold on to your funds, make an excuse, they sit on it. They do return funds, but it has happened again to a student of mine. No KYC on Maxi. He had over 100K, and he ran into this issue. His account was locked for over a month. So I don't recommend it, but if you're using funds that are small, like $5,000, $10,000, you can go for BingX, Albank, Maxi. There are so many out there. They all are no KYC exchanges, which means you just need to use a VPN, change it to a country they are okay with. Personally, I use Luxembourg. That's my secret. Not many people think of that country. That's why I use that one. And you can use it as a no KYC. Currently, I am using Maxi as a no KYC because I don't have crazy funds on it. I just bought few of the coins that I had shared in VIP for longer hold. I went and I bought some of them on Maxi because I didn't have them on Binance.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think I'll prefer Binance.
Yeah.
And I'll look into the way you just suggested.
Yeah.
Another question.
Palau doesn't work with Binance, okay? It works with Bybit. It works with every exchange. BitGet, you will have access to every exchange, but it doesn't work with Binance.
So no way to get into Binance from US?
No. That's the sad part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there second question? Is there any relationship with gold going up and Bitcoin following, making an all-time high?
No, there is no relationship. If there is any relationship, it should be inverse relationship. But it really depends on the feeling of the public. You need to understand that Bitcoin generally runs on the feelings of the market. It is not a commodity like gold, right? Gold, you can physically keep it away from the market, and that will lead to an overall problem of demand and supply. That is not the case scenario with Bitcoin. You can lock 95% of Bitcoin and you can still crash the prices. And I have explained that in the VIP on a post with the leverage trades. with leverage trading, you can manipulate the price as much as you want, because what leverage trading does is that it creates new bitcoins. so, so
Sell demand.
sell demand, and then those who have locked these bitcoins, they are forced to bring it back to reality, because exchanges, they need to compensate. Let me give you a very short example again. So let's say that there are 100 bitcoins in the world overall, 95 are locked, 5 are available in the market, right? So those who are shorting, all of them, they start shorting the hell out of it, and there is no way to deal with the shorts because they're liquidating all the longs, okay? All the longs and all the people who have their stop losses, they're getting triggered. Now exchanges, they need to compensate for it, even though they don't want to bring their Bitcoin, because they swear on their mother's head that they will never take it out. It's a hodl for life. They need to run the business, right? So what they would do is that they will bring their Bitcoin. If they don't have Bitcoin, they are going to pay a higher price to get the Bitcoin. They can do the liquidity games. They need to bring it in, okay? They can pay higher prices for liquidity. They say that, okay, if you add Bitcoin to our liquidity, instead of paying 6%, we will pay you 20%. And those who are greedy, they will bring their Bitcoin because they are staking it and they're not making that much. Anyway, that will again bring back the stuff to the circulation. You can't do these things with gold, because gold is either paper gold or it is real gold. There are two golds there, and paper gold and real gold has no relationship. They can create a relationship per se, but the on-ground reality is there is no relationship. So the relationship was previously inverted. It was not inverted, it was an inverse relationship. When gold would go up, Bitcoin would go down. When Bitcoin would go up, gold would go down. This year that has changed as well, as the sentiment of the investors have changed. Now when gold go up, Bitcoin goes up too.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So as Bitcoin runs on sentiments, like a cult, like a religion, there is no what do you call it, fundamental way of dealing with it. You always need to see how people are feeling. Last year, $3 billion of selling from Germany was enough to crash the market that would require 100 billion. so the reason for that is that it's totally running on sentiments. It's the most volatile asset because it has no foundation to stand on. All that it runs on is buy and hold and pray.
Yep, praying is a big factor in the game.
Yeah.
Learning it.
Yeah. So but if you are going after other coins that have foundations, they move on their own. They don't care about the market. Markets can be down. They can continue to go up. Again, a good example is last year, BNB. When the markets were crashing in April, May, BNB ended up creating a new all-time high. Same is the case scenario with smaller projects. We saw with Pulse that I had shared. It went up 50%, even though the market was crashing that day. Crash would be exaggeration, but all market was red. We were in dip. I think Bitcoin was around 108, 107. Everything was red. But Polkastarter decided to pump and go up because it was a fundamental move. And that's why I had shared to begin with. But that is not the case scenario with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is always about, oh, look, another country, another entity has decided to buy Bitcoin and sit on it. That's the overall news. There is nothing else around it. It's fabricated in a different manner, but the on-ground reality is that it would hurt Bitcoin maxis. It's a good-for-nothing project. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Should we keep holding SUI?
SUI, SUI.
Yeah.
I have shared a video of its fundamentals. I'll touch upon it again. It's a overly inflated project. I think last I checked, it has inflation of 300%, which means that it is not a good hold project. It is going to be impossible for SUI as every year passes to hit its all-time high ever again.
Okay.
Yeah. Inflation is a killer. Just like in real life, now you're not able to buy a property in USA for $40,000. Now you need to pay $500,000. Same is the case scenario with SUI. Now it requires way more dollars to make SUI back to $5 as it in comparison to what it was the case scenario last year. In 1 year, it has inflated over 200%. It's crazy.
Got it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother. Okay, I'll take some YouTube comments, then I'll take Ka, then Adriana. And okay, comments on YouTube. Let's see. My God. Hello, Idol. Hear you getting well. For your opinion, will GPU and bulls reach new all-time high in Q4 or Q1? If there is bull market, yes. New all-time high, no, but they would go up crazy. And if you are asking, it looks like you are in my VIP. So you can see that they are at dirt cheap prices. So I think 200% move on them is pretty reasonable. Concerned about XLM reaching its all-time high. Your opinion on its trajectory? Will it pump back to 70 cents? And if so, potential time frame. XLM is a slow mover. Treat it like a Tron. Tron, in comparison, is a better project. XLM has its inflation, but XLM is a decent project. I can respect that project. So considering that in long run it is going to go up, but if you ask me time frame, I would say that either you get a really good bull run like 2021, or you just wait 3 to 5 years and hope it goes up. XLM I wouldn't recommend as investment, because the kind of profits you're going to make on it, the 100% profit, you need to bring the whole planet together to move it 100% up, but you can do that 100% somewhere else. So I would trade XLM. I would do mini hodls with it. If you're on YouTube, you wouldn't know what a mini hodl is. I call something a mini hodl when I'm aiming for 30% to 50% profit on spot, and I call them hodl if it is 100% profit and above. So I would treat XLM as a mini hodl, but not as a hodl. It's the same thing I told my student the other day, this Monday, when he asked me about Aave. He asked me about Aave. He said that we analyzed Aave. It was a great project and all, but for hodl, I told him that it is a stretch. It's not a good idea to hodl Aave. We actually saw its competition doing better. So you have so many competitors out there for Aave. I can think of some names like there is XVS, there is Dodo, there is Aerodrome, there is Lido. It's Lido or LDO, I think. And there are many projects out there doing the same thing that they are doing. If I'm aiming for 100% profit, I want to double my bag on investment, I'll go somewhere else where it's easy, rather than putting my money in Bitcoin and praying that Bitcoin will hit $220,000 and I bought it at 110. That is plain stupid. If I'm a billionaire, yes, I don't have many options, because all crypto market is this small, and that's why Warren Buffett doesn't like crypto to begin with, because he can't do anything in it. It's really small, and the liquidities are really thin. 5 whales in any coin can start selling and bring the coin back to zero. You can't do that in stock market, and it makes way more sense for him to be there, and that's one of the reasons I respect that guy. Okay, I think now I'll take a call. Allowed to speak. Ka, you can talk.
Hey, Shad, good morning. Thank you for the opportunity. I have a quick question regarding the discussion about leverages and liquidity, which has been kind of on the air a lot. In kind of a short context, could you just explain like how that works? Because there's a lot of like of course, if you go to Twitter or any of these things, there's a lot of influencers like, hey, you'll get liquidated, or if you stay overnight in your futures, you'll get margin called. When does that actually happen? Like, when does one get margin called, or when does get somebody's leverage gets called, or they even, like the other hype is, if you get over leverage, your assets that's in your exchange profile will be taken away. They can confiscate all that. Like, what's the true way of looking at it, and what's the real thing behind it?
Just a second. Sorry, I need to remove my microphone from you. It ran out of charge. I'm just plugging in the charger. Just give me a second.
Sure.
Sorry. It went to 5%. I didn't realize I don't have a charge on my phone. It's one of the worst things of having so many phones. Okay. So basically, the liquidation. I don't know why they are using newer, fancier names. Margin call. Oh God, it fell. The live is still running. I hope so.
Yes. Yeah, we're here.
Yeah, I'm still here. Okay, sorry. It's just that it has a wire. Okay. Anyway, just give me a second. Okay, I just need to sit properly so I don't throw the mobile phone again.
No problem.
Okay. So basically, liquidation is a simple concept. You borrow money from the market, and they are giving you that money to make profit with it, but they will not take a loss with you, because it doesn't make sense for them to run into a loss case scenario with you. Okay. But when you're making profit, they wouldn't come and they would say that, hey, you are in profit now, give me my money. Okay. Oh wow, what happened to the internet? Can you hear me? Sorry, I broke. Can you hear me now?
Okay, yes.
Yeah. So I was saying that so they wouldn't risk in the loss. What that means is that you are using a 25x leverage. If the coin goes down 4%, they will close your trade and take all your money, and they will take their money as well. That is called being liquidated. Why? Because when you're using a 25x leverage, you are telling them that, hey, for every $1 I'm giving you, you give me 24. So a total becomes 25. So if you are putting $100, 100 multiplied by 25, that is how much? It's $2,500, right? So $2,500, while in reality you only have $100. That is crazy, right? That is crazy. And that's why when you look at 25, I said you get liquidated by 100%. What is 25? 100% on 4%. So what is 25 4 times? It is 100, right?
Yep.
So for every 1%, it is 25% in your case. So for a 4% move, it is 100% move for you. It's a bit awkward math. I can can take a bit longer to explain. I don't want to bore some people because some experts would be watching or listening. But the thing is that when it goes down 4% on a 25x leverage, you lose your overall position. Now the question is, do you lose all of your money or do you lose just that trade? It depends on what you're doing. If you're doing an isolated trade, only the money you have invested in that trade, that $20, $200, in our case $100, you only lose that $100. And in your mind, you're thinking that this $100 was worth the risk. Why? Because your other $100,000, they're sitting in the spot and you're not using it. They're not at risk. But there are people who move all of their funds, and what they do is that they do cross. Cross means that here is my money, I'm putting all of it at risk, and I want to take trade. But if you go below 4%, then start using my bag. Look, there is a lot of money sitting there. That's why people are able to create a negative number of 2000%. Have you seen people with those crazy negative numbers? Have you ever wondered how does that happen? How can you have a minus 500%? Because the maximum you can do is minus 100, right? You can't have a minus 500. but people have minus 500, minus 2000% is because they use cross trading. So they lose their investment of that trade, the margin they were using, and they start losing their overall bag as well. Okay, and yeah. So I hope I have clarified.
Yes, as long as we're not using cross trading, let's say to the first point that you mentioned,
Yeah.
whatever we have put the money in the trade, let's say in our case $100, and the trade doesn't work out, then they take that money away, which is fair, makes sense, because you told them like, hey, I want to bet on this. The bet didn't work. They took your money. Got it.
Exactly.
But it's not like they will let that trade run into a negative. So it can go beyond minus 4%. Would they allow it to go to like minus 10% on a regular, like a short trade, and then they say like, oh, hey, you know what? You owe us this rest of the minus 6, so I need to pull money out of your.
No, they don't do that. They never do that. They never do that. They have a fee. That is their. Call it a management fee. They call it funding fee.
Yes.
Okay. They have given you funds. They charge you a fee for it. But that's pretty much it. They never pull out. I have done 238 trades, because that was the maximum allowed on Binance, and I did it last year, and I had it open for 3 months. So I bought the bottom on 5th of August. I opened leverage of 25x on all of them, and then I closed them in November. So they were running. There were days when I was getting charged really heavily on funding fee, but I mean, I was using $1 million, so that was bad on my part. But it was crazy amounts, because sometimes when the volatility kicks in, when the coin is either going up crazily or going down crazily, the funding fee increases. Otherwise, the funding fee is really cheap as well. It's 0.002%, 0.001%, stuff like that. But it can change dramatically, but that is temporary. You also understand that a coin cannot have volatility more than 3 days at max. So you just live through that funding fee period and you deal with it. But in case you are doing scalps, that doesn't apply to you anyway. All these fees and all these discussions we are having, it is only relevant if you are doing swings if you are doing a swing trade. If you are doing scalps in day trades, these things will not affect you, because you are closing the trade either in profit or loss on the same day or in few hours. So all this stuff doesn't happen to you.
Okay. Now, one last question here is, like the traditional stock market, which back in the day they used to do margin calls. Does that kind of thing exist on the crypto exchanges? Like, do they do margin calls, or they just make sure you have the money to do the trade? And this
is margin. Future and margin is pretty much the same. There is a little bit difference in the technicality of it, but the end impact, or the customers, they never see the difference. It's the back end difference. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same thing as stock market. It's the same concept, same same approach, same thing.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for the opportunity, Shad.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure speaking with you. Okay, I'll now see some comments in Telegram first. Then I'll go to YouTube. Okay. Shah, what do you think of SafePal? SafePal, I had a consultation call of half an hour because they're expensive with someone yesterday, and she told me about SafePal, and she wanted me to switch from Trust Wallet to SafePal. I saw they have 5 million downloads. Trust Wallet is 100 million or above, but she said fees are cheap there, and I need to dig into SafePal, see their security, and see if I can rely on them. Trust Wallet is from Binance, so there is no trouble over there, and I have used it for more than 4 years now. But SafePal, at least I'm inclined. She made some good points, so I'm inclined to look into SafePal, and I will let you know. can we trust this thing with our funds or not? Will the YouTube be recorded, Shah? My family at the moment. Yeah, William. It is getting recorded. That's why when I remove the microphone, it's still going on. If we get a rate cut this month, do we think that is bearish? By XRP dropping below? No, rate cut is not bearish. If anything, it can be momentarily bullish. Okay. Now I'll take. Where can we see the total 3 this cycle, albeit running out of time? Carry on. I think the overall cycle and all the promises that influencers had made, or those people who say that 155 days after Bitcoin halving, or this much range after Bitcoin halving, or look, these two lines had a crossover. This was a golden crossover, or this is something. All that bullshit has come to an end. We're sitting in September. Nothing has happened. I think that the only thing that we can continue to do is continue to call it bull run. But it was a bear market for me from January of this year. I took an exit last year, and I dipped my toes here and there, but I didn't fully go in because the market is not in a place where I would fully invest in it. I think that if I want to fully invest in it, the market should be at a better place. So first year of bull run has happened. Bear run has happened. We have another year next year. So most probably next year we will see bigger dips. But like you said, we are running out of time. I think the total 3 of this cycle, we might as well just stop looking at it because there is no more room for the market. Last quarter is always considered to be bullish, so it is kind of given that November and December will be well. There is only going to be one anomaly in it. If the government decides to come out and say, hey guys, we fucked up and we are accepting that we fucked up, then yes, the markets can crash. Otherwise, the kind of bullishness you have experienced for the whole year, you are going to experience the same thing in the last quarter. It's not going to be any different than this. It is going to be the same boring style of bull run, if you want to call it one. Okay, let me look at comments now, and then I'll come to you, Adriana. I see your hand. Sorry, I'm just looking at some YouTube comments. Okay. The Kaliskio Seahorse, what is this? Holding some USDC, my trust wallet, waiting for lower prices. I would like to earn some interest. Is taking in trust wallet safe? Yes, it is 100% safe. I have used it for cake in the past. Not for interest, but for staking. So far, it has failed each time. It has gotten Ethereum 5K. Ali says, are we in bear market? I think I've responded this. All season will come this year? No. I've said this since January, unfortunately. People like to listen to motivational bullish stuff. We might as well call them bullshit stuff. Can you talk about what happens to a leverage trade if it's left overnight? How do you know if they're going to margin call you? Nothing happens to it. I've run it for months, and I know people who have run leverage trades for years. There was a guy who had a leverage trade on Bitcoin, opened in a very wrong place. He had to wait 2 years to get back to his entry. Okay, Adriana, now you can talk.
Okay, I'm gonna be quick. I wanted to ask on the long-term holds that you mentioned. I think sometime in, I don't know, a couple months it's been. Will we get updated entry prices or something like that in that sense? I know it's not going to be in the closest short span of time. You mentioned that the last 3 that you said are those that we need to keep an eye on for now.
Yeah, the last 3 that I shared, because I don't expect them to crazily drop, because they are the coins that I'm picking from the bottom, so I'm not expecting more than 20-30% of a crash. That's the maximum stretch I'm expecting from those coins that I've shared in the group. But for the list, when I share 12 coins to 20 coins that people can choose to buy from, I need to see the market in a better place. I don't think that market is in a buying place. If you are really in love with a coin, aim for 30% to 50% max, considering the last quarter, and be careful with the funding. Again, going back to the consultation call I had, I think it was yesterday. I told them to stick to 5%. 5% of their bag with 10 coins max. Still, they will lose 50% of their portfolio and keep 50% in cash because of clear reason that the market is not in the right place, and I think you're risking too much. You're risking too much, exposing yourself, and if the market takes one wrong turn, everyone will be caught red-handed. Markets will be crashing, but you will have no funds to invest, and I think that is the worst experience to have.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, and yeah, because the ones that you mentioned a couple months ago, I see that they're holding well, but obviously we can enter at a better price. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait for you.
The problem with them is holding well. Like from that list, if I talk about cake, I would love to invest in cake. I would go big and hard on cake because cake in the long run is like BNB. It's a slow mover, but it is a coin where I can invest and I can sleep well. But the thing is that it is not at a price point where I would like to enter. I like to be a bit greedy, and the reason I do well is because I wait patiently for the coin to reach the targets that
That's the best way.
Yeah, that's the best way. I think that it's one thing to keep yourself busy all year. It's another thing to make money. And personally, like I said, I do trade to keep myself busy. I do shit coins as well. I go and support projects and lose money to that as well. But when it comes to serious money, I hardly enter the market 3 to 4 times maximum in 1 year. So that's the maximum entry that I have taken in 1 year in any bull run or bear run. Other than that, I think that being too busy, it leads to over trading, and over trading always leads to disaster. When you have months to plan, you already know which coins you want to buy, and you already know about the entries, and you already know your reasons. You are not shopping like when they announce that when there is blood in the market, you buy, even if it's your own blood. They talk about that kind of thing, and then on that day you are panicking and wondering what to grab. That's a general problem I have seen with people, even though it would feel like that people would be ready, but they're not. So I think that even if it means that I will get my entry in 2026, I'll wait for it. If I want to make 300% on a coin, 200% on a coin, I will wait for better entries. I wouldn't enter the market at these prices for such kind of higher gains. I'd wait for better prices. Let's put it like that. Because there is always this risk of getting stuck, right? What if we enter now and then there is a bear market for another 2 years? So then it's
we have to see the bigger picture that we do not see. I mean, we have to see life as a whole.
Exactly.
Not just this year or next year, but
all of it. You should always prepare for it. And I think that as an investor, it's our duty to have patience, and to ensure that we don't lose our patience. That's why we trade. We trade, so we are busy. We are seeing something on daily basis, on weekly basis. That is ensuring that we don't go and touch our serious money and do something stupid with it. Boredom is a horrible thing. Just one last thing on the same point, and this is something that I again had a discussion over the consultation call, was that how I lost so many bitcoins to scam from 2015 to 2020. I invested myself in 2016 only, but before that, I was still buying bitcoins and giving it to scammers. And the first scammer was from South Africa that scammed me. Later on, the other one was from UK. His name was Brad, and the last one, I think, one was from Poland. But the UK one, he took quite some bitcoins from me. I would say three, but I would think that maybe it was more than three. I do remember buying a lot of bitcoins, and he would take bitcoins, and he promised that he would give a return of 1% to 5% on daily basis. So that's the peak of stupidity. But I think that when you're stuck and you're bored, my pain point was that I didn't sell Ethereum in 2017. I got myself few thousand Ethereums on an average of $30 because I was making money from my US company. And I didn't sell in 2017. And then it turned into a cancer for me because it went to 130 in 2019, and then it went to 130 in 2020. And even though in stories it's really fancy when they talk about holding, I think holding is the most painful and horrible thing that you can do to yourself. And all the bitcoins and everything that I lost was just because of this holding, because of this horrible feeling that why was I so stupid not to sell at $2,000, at $1,500, and I'm sitting with this shit that is sitting at 130, and Bitcoin went down to $3,000, and I was wondering whether did I made a horrible mistake, and whether it was a bubble. That is something that actually led me to studying crypto in 2020, and then I left everything, my businesses, jobs, everything that I had, and I sat down for 1 year at home and I started reading white papers. Uh, and then I learned, and then I finally, when I sold Ethereum in 2021, I think it was around April, and I never looked back. I never looked back. Now, when I hold a coin, the maximum I get stuck is 3 to 6 months. I don't get stuck anymore, and I make way more profit than anyone would do. Last year, fortunately, I've recorded it on YouTube. It is there. I've done it in front of everyone, so it was very public. You look at it, getting in August and selling in November. You can't do that kind of profit in 2025 because it was throughout the portfolio. All of the coins, they moved up crazy. We saw SU somewhere around, I think, 60 cents or something. We saw every coin pretty much on a crazy dip, including Aave and everything. So when we talk about 2x, 3x, that was the minimum that they gave. And I think that getting that in 3 months instead of waiting 4 years for XLM to do a 2x or a Dogecoin to do a 2x, I think that this is way better than that, because you can continue to compound your capital by doing this multiple times a year instead of sitting and waiting and holding it for next 20 years in a hope that, okay, you purchase the bottom and now you cannot find any other coin. You bought XRP at 3 cents. Now you're married to this thing for your whole life.
This is so true. This is reality, like a reality check for all of us.
Yeah.
Like, we easily forget the prison we get ourselves in when we buy a coin.
Yeah.
Long term.
Yeah.
We easily forget. But then when we go back to it again, we get reminded.
I agree. And I think that sometimes projects can be great as well, but you need to understand that this is forever evolving market. Sometimes the tech and technology, they can go bad. People wouldn't be so excited about it anymore. Let's think that ICP was a great project to begin with. Okay, let's say that when Vitalik said that he appreciates ICP, and he thinks that it's a giant and it's such an amazing tech. Let's say that all of that was true. In today's world, no one cares about ICP or about their tech.
Yeah.
They're looking more for projects like Arbitrum that are making their life easy. I always talk about Arbitrum and Arbitrum as a project, not as a coin. Okay, as a coin, the graph sucks, but as a project, it's a ever expanding project. If you look at their number of developers and their number of users, they're expanding every month. They have charts there. They're getting into hundreds of thousands to millions. Why? Because they're making it easy for people to come to crypto with their existing IT skills. So if you already know Rust or some other languages that they have there, you can go and do all the blockchain cool stuff instead of learning the new languages. You don't need to relearn. You don't need to learn a new skill set. They're merging and bridging it, right? But when we talk about ICP is a very hard coded environment. You need to align yourself accordingly, and that's something that developers don't want to do. No one wants to go and get into something like that. I'm not a tech guy to begin with. Okay, I'm way off when I talk about tech. I'm a finance guy, but a good example of that would be Python. The reason Python became such an important and famous language is because Python has no prerequisites. Today you can go and learn Python and become a coder of Python, and you are not an IT person and you don't need to be. But if you say that you
Yeah.
want to do C++ or you want to do Microsoft.NET or some other languages, they're crazy
The
requisites.
hardcore.
Yeah, the hardcore stuff. There are prerequisites around it. Same stuff applies to crypto. It's an ever-evolving environment. It's an ever-evolving space. While ICP might have been relevant back in the days, they are not anymore. And that's one of the reasons that these are dead projects. From 465
Yeah,
to
that's
$2 or 465 to now sitting at $6-7 and people still hoping it will go to 100, that's plain stupid. Because they don't
yeah, that's
understand
why
that.
we
Yeah.
want to look ahead and find the gems, like the hidden
Yeah.
projects that are nothing right now to anyone, but they're going to be everything to everyone in the
To
future.
everyone in the future. Exactly. Okay. I think we have reached the end of our session. Thank you, Adriana, and everyone who joined.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. You guys take care. I'll see you guys next week and have a great weekend. Bye. And I'll end it in YouTube as well. Thank you so much for joining.